Hi guys, hope everyone's doing well. It's Matt here. Today I wanted to talk about the type of people in the creative space that you want to work with versus the type of people that you want to be cautious of. Not necessarily don't work with them, but definitely be cautious. So in my experience through high school and college and in the workforce as well, I've had the privilege of working with a lot of amazingly talented creative people. And I've also worked with people who are super talented, but they're so talented and they're so technical to the point where it's not great. The first type of person that I really enjoy working with is someone who I'd like to call a collaborative storyteller. This is a person who knows camera basics, knows lighting basics, knows editing basics, but really pushes themselves and pushes their team to create a fantastic story. Now, when you're filming a video, the story really depends on the video's purpose. For example, if it's for a business, you want to tell the story in a way that helps either market that person or market that business. These types of videos are built to help elevate a brand. Then there's the more fun type of creative storytelling. Maybe you're on a film set or a TV show. You're trying to help the team either finish a busy day on production or move a story forward in a creative way. And you don't need to be on a TV set to do this. You know, you can bring your camera, bring some of your friends. This one person who I worked with, and I've worked with so many great people, but this one person, I consider him to be a collaborative storyteller because not only does he know what he's doing, but he's helping the team and he's communicating the goal effectively. This is a person who doesn't keep to themselves and who can effectively assign people roles while also making the talent feel comfortable. Even if you've never picked up a camera in your life, these are good people who know what they're doing, but also are confident enough in their skills where they can help others. And I really enjoy working with these types of people because not only do we get the job finished, but I'm able to learn more about cameras, learn more about lighting, audio, all these great things that people use in the creative space. There was one situation where we were in the stadium and fans were making a cool sign for one of the players. There were 3 levels. We were told to go to the 3rd level to film these people hanging their banner. We're going up the elevator. We were like circling around and we walk and we see the people. I look towards this guy and I'm like, if they're creating a banner that they're gonna hang like with their hands off the side of a stadium, we're not gonna be able to get that shot if we're on the 3rd floor. Instead, we should be on the 2nd floor with the camera tilted up in order to get the shot. And he looks at me and he's like, you're right. I remember another situation where we were setting up for photographs of different types of sports gear. He just did such a good job of communicating like, okay, this is where we put the backdrop, this is where we're gonna put the light. And I also helped him on a few projects as a drone spotter. This was before I was licensed. He was teaching me while we were working. He was like, okay, as a drone spotter, this is what you want to look out for. They're more focused on getting the job done and doing it well than focusing on the technical aspects. The technical guru. This is a person who knows a camera down to its core. They just know all the technical information behind a creative process. And I'm not saying that if you know technical information behind a camera or you know all the lenses, all the bells and whistles, all that type of stuff, that you're not good to work with. No, that's not what I'm saying. In my experience, when you work with people who are more focused on what's the brand of your light, what's the type of lens, what's the type of camera body you're working for. Although they know what they're doing, they're more focused on what equipment they're using on set rather than the story, rather than having an objective and completing the objective with what they have. I was working with this one person, this was back in college, who made it very clear to everyone else that they knew what they were talking about, which is good. I remember there was one situation where we were framing up light for an interview, and he took the softbox, and this wasn't like an aperture light, but he took the softbox out of one of these lights. When you look in camera, the lighting looked really good. And I walk over there and I'm looking at the camera and I'm blinded because the light is so bright that I'm not able to, like, it was just blinding. And I go up to this guy, I'm like, hey, can we put the diffuser back on, maybe change the ISO, maybe add another light? And when I said that, he looked at me with this like blank stare, like he was staring through me almost. And he looked at me and he's like, why? It's perfect. That's what he said. I remember it so crystal clearly. I'm the type of person where I really try not to be super, super bossy. That's just not my personality, but I do enjoy being direct. I kind of just say like, hey, do it this way. And if I'm wrong, then I'm like, okay, that was my bad. Because I make mistakes all the time. Let me bring him over to the camera so he can see it, and then he'll understand like, oh, this is super, super bright. And I put him there and he's like, I can see the camera just fine. It's not blinding at all. Well, he didn't say it's not blinding at all, but he was like, he's like, this looks perfect. I'm over there and I'm thinking, and I'm like, the person who's gonna be interviewing in front of the camera is gonna be super uncomfortable. I basically said, so I don't know what I said, this was a long time ago, but I'm like, for my sake, can we just either put a diffuser on it? And he's like, well, how about we do this? And he goes over, and instead of putting a diffuser on it, he takes the light and he bounces it on the ceiling. If you have a ceiling with white walls, these are more like cream colored, but bouncing light off walls is a very smart thing to do in certain situations. If a person is talking towards the camera, you can have the light bounce off, but you still need some type of fill light to make sure that their face is bright enough. It was like super awkward. I didn't really want to be pushy. I also didn't want the person who was being interviewed, I didn't want that person coming up and being like, I can't see. We wanted to come as professionals, you know what I mean? I would much rather work with a person that's able to work with me rather than like do it their way or the highway. If I were to bring on a team of creatives, the person who I would look for would be the person who knows what they're doing, but is also super focused on the story and is focused on getting the job done and doing it right, rather than the person who is really absorbed in the technical aspects of a camera. I'd love to hear stories of everyone that you guys have collaborated with. Tell me down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Goodbye.